up, fellas? Today we got our Sunday plays. We're going to go through every noon game here. We got 14 picks for you to choose from. We went through every game here in the noon slate or the 1 p.m. Eastern slate. And we got what I liked the best here. Starting off with the Minnesota-Atlanta game. Not a ton I liked from this game, especially from the Atlanta side. But there's something that I liked here with Aaron Jones to go over his rushing yards of 62.5. The Atlanta rushing defense, we can take a quick look here. We're just going to run through all these picks quick, by the way. People like to run against them, have, normal efficiency, get decent yards. Don't allow a ton of touchdowns, which is why I don't like the touchdown play, but I like the yards play. He did have a bad game last game, but that's because of his fumbles. If he gets these 22 carries or even these 15 carries, I think against the Atlanta defense with 15 carries, he could easily hit his line of 62.5. The other one I liked here was Jordan Addison. First half receptions lower than 1.5. I think he has one reception first half. He usually has more receptions in the second half, looking at the entire season so far. And I think that's where most of his production is going to come in the second half, if he has much of any. I expect it to be a pretty big Justin Jefferson game, but at the same time, I don't want to take anything with JJ and him be double covered, triple covered, zone plus man, and just not get any work there. So yeah, that's what I liked from this game. Nothing from the Atlanta side, as Minnesota's defense has been probably the best this season, if not one of the best. Moving on to Carolina-Philadelphia. This is a big Philadelphia game. We have two picks we like here again. We got an A.J. Brown touchdown. I liked his receptions and receiving yards, but I didn't want to take them because if we look at the numbers here, 5.65, and his line's at 5.5 for receptions, and then his yards is at 77.5. And looking at the last three games, 66, 109, 65. So I like the touchdown better, as Carolina's defense again isn't the best, but it's at least decent. I think A.J. Brown at least finds the end zone. And addressing Saquon Barkley, I'm not taking anything with him because 113 rushing yards is just almost absurd. I mean, he didn't hit it last game, obviously, but I mean, he has 255, 146. So I understand the line. If you want to take anything with Saquon, probably a surefire touchdown is obvious, or even you can take a rushing touchdown and get a little less of a decrease there. The other thing we like here, going to Jalen Hurts. Where is it? First half passing yards lower. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be passing a ton. We can even just take a quick look at his last three games here. 118, 179, 221. So this game, he barely even hit that mark. This one, it's less than half, or more than half of his passing yards there. And this one, he doubled it, but he probably didn't do it all in the first half. Not a ton I like from the Carolina side, as once again, Philadelphia's defense is probably the best in the league, or at least gained enough respect to be considered one of the best. I guess if you want to look at anything, maybe an Adam Thielen receiving yards. Bryce Young loves them. You take a receiving yards, maybe even a touchdown if you want a big boost. As we can see, since the return, he's got 2 out of 3 touchdowns. But if anything, I like his receiving yards there. I don't like Chuba with anything, just because, again, Philadelphia's defense. Moving on, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. We hit on Nick Chubb last week. We're going to do the opposite this week. We're going to take his higher because it's at 38.5. Wait, no, never mind. We're not going to take that because that seems like a trap. We're going to take his touchdown. We're going to take a quick look here. Steelers rushing defense right here. They don't run against them a ton. They don't have greatest of luck, but 12 rushing touchdowns. In the last game, the Browns played the Steelers. Yes, it was a snow game, but he had 20 carries, 59 yards for 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. If he can't get one in this game alone, that just says something about how much the weather plays an effect in the games. I like Chubb to score a touchdown here. An interesting note, looking at the practice reports, Pittsburgh, George Pickens is questionable with a hamstring. He didn't log any practice Wednesday, Thursday, and he was limited Friday. So I don't know what that says about it. If anything, you could look at Big Fat Pat right here to go maybe 29.5 receiving yards over. You can look at Mike Will. One I don't hate is Calvin Austin to score a touchdown. He scored a touchdown last time they played, and even when George is in, Calvin Austin seems to be like the 2. So I don't hate if you look at the other Pittsburgh wide receivers, that could be a good play. However, for our Pittsburgh pick, we're going to come all the way down here to, where is he? Chris Boswell. Here we go. We're going to bump this up to 3 field goals, and we're going to hit that with a big boost. I like that play. Last time they played, we could pull it up real quick. Pull it up real quick here for you guys just so you can see. Again, snow game. Keep in mind, this time we're sunny. We got nothing going on. It's perfect weather. Kicking, Boswell, 2 of 3 for field goals. He had that third attempt. He missed, which is just fine. That's field goals, though. He hit 1 extra point. 1 extra point in that snow game. I like his field goals. He is a field goal kicker. I think this Browns defense, yes, it stinks, but it's good enough to at least stop them and put a pause on their drives. So that's Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Moving on to Las Vegas, Tampa. I didn't like a ton from this game, especially because, Bucky DMP'd Wednesday, Thursday. He logged a limited practice on Friday. So if anything, I like a Bucky touchdown, but besides that, there's not a ton I like from this. Moving on, Jets, Miami. We got a Miami game without Sauce, without Brees on the other side of the ball. I like Jonnu to go over his receiving yards of 48.5. And then besides that, the other pick I liked from this was coming up to Devon Achane and fluctuating his touchdown line to 2. Whoops, gotta take some of these out. Fluctuating his touchdown line to 2. The Jets' rush defense is not great. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds one through the air and on the ground. Devon Achane, 2 touchdowns. I love that. That's probably my big ball play of the day. Moving on again, New Orleans, Giants. This is, as much of a Saints fan as I am, this is probably going to be a shit game. And I really hope that the Saints really beat the shit out of the Giants. Excuse my language. Alvin Kamara to go over his receptions of 4.5. Take a quick look at the last few games. 4, 4, 5. I expect him to be found out of the backfield, dump offs, etc., design plays, just kind of how it goes. And then Tyrone Tracy to go over his line for the rushing yards. The Saints' rush defense stinks. I wouldn't be surprised if Malik Neighbors doesn't play either, making more work for Tracy. And in that sense, him going over. And the last noon game, we got Jacksonville, Tennessee. We got 3 plays from this game, all on the Tennessee side of the ball. Will Levis, passing yards, over. And then you can switch and swap here. I like, where is he? Oh, Nick Westbrook-Ikini touchdown. And I don't hate the Calvin Ridley yards. You can swap these two, intermix them, but that's the way I like them, and that's the way I'll probably take them. So, yeah. And then again, not a ton I like from the Jacksonville side because I hate taking against the Tennessee defense because it has just been so good. Real quick here, I'll just show you the Jets practice report. Sauce and Brees both DNP'd 3 straight days in a row. All right, so that's all we got for you guys today. We went through all of the noon games. Make sure to follow the Twitter here, where I'm going to be posting all of my bets that I do take, and so you can follow along and track it that way. Also, I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to drop a link both on the Twitter and in the description of the video. If you use that link to sign up on Underdog, you get your first deposit matched all the way up to $1,000. So if you deposit $10, you get an extra $10. So now you have 20. If you deposit 15, you now have 30, etc., etc., etc. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Hope you enjoy your Sunday. And yeah, let's be profitable. Anyways, see you next time, guys. Peace.